Okay, guys, we got to talk about some more AI. Sorry, can't just be talking about the all this bad stuff going on in Canada. Damn, it's gonna drag me down. So apparently, Meta has fallen for a new AI trick. I don't know what this guy's on about. With that, Meta's got billions of dollars invested into AI. So I literally just blind react to stuff, guys. This is fun to me. I enjoy it. You guys are liking and subscribing too, so it's motivating me to make more content. But if you don't recognize me, my name's Alex. I run an AI agency in Toronto called Peak Demand Incorporated. We help small, medium enterprise businesses as well as municipalities and transit systems adopt AI in a safe and meaningful way. And I got to tell you, in Canada, we are so far behind with technology that, even looking at our GDP, or even the productivity per capita in this country, it is ill, it is sick with inefficiencies. Like we quite literally need AI to burst up in productivity, hire a bunch of people, because we're more productive and get on with the economy. And the big hang up most of the time, look at this guy's freeze frame is hilarious. The big hang up most of the time is people are afraid of AI. People say, oh, AI is going to take my job. Da, 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 da. It's like, guys, AI is coming for everything. It is the new operational infrastructure layer for humanity. So it's not coming for everything. It's already here. It's just making its way through different industries. And I got to say, like, people are talking about AI is going to take all jobs in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. No, no, no. It's not going to be that fast, guys. AI is going to be able to automate a lot of stuff over time, but 2 years, 3 years, everyone losing their jobs, like, that's insane, guys. You're talking or you're listening to the guy who's literally building robots for businesses. It takes a long time. Like, we have to plug shit in, program stuff. Like, don't worry if I mean, get more skills, learn some trades, learn digital. Definitely don't not worry. Don't not worry. Don't try not to worry, but get more skills, because it's very apparent that the most powerful entities in the world, they're looking at, their employees going, are you ready for the future? So let's get into it.
There's a startling new trend that's happening among a lot of the larger tech companies, and I'm just going to say it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I think it's bad. I think it leads to bad outcomes. I think it incentivizes bad behavior. It makes bad products. This trend, of course, started with Microsoft or Shopify. It spread to Google. And now Meta, pour one out for Meta and Zuck. Man, I thought me and Zuck, I thought we were tight. I thought Zuck was the best, but obviously, I don't know about that anymore. All right, so what's
I'm gonna tell you right now, Zuck don't give a fuck.
happening? Well, Meta is about to start grading its workers on their AI skills. That's right. Your ability to prompt might be your ability to stay employed at
guys, this is not just Meta. This is going to be every company on the planet. AI is like learning how to navigate the internet. Are you good at it? Are you good with, everyone's got a boss in their workplace that doesn't know shit about the internet. They can't, download a file or like create a PDF or anything. They're just inept. Everyone's got a workplace like that. The future workplace is going to be young people looking at their boss like, this guy can't do any AI prompts. He's a loser. It's like, that's what's going to happen. So Zuckerberg, he's going, this prompting thing seems to be pretty important. Let's see where our current employees are with prompting. And I got to say, I am definitely not the best prompter, but if you watch how I work, I always get to results, like every time. And it's funny because when I'm working with the guys I work with, they're building robots and testing and doing reiterations of workflows and putting together automation stuff like that. I can tell when someone is improving. I can tell when someone's improving because of how they're prompting. You can always tell how someone's improving in the world of tech because of how they're prompting. It's a skill that you learn through repetition. You got to put the reps in. You don't just get it right away. So for me, when OpenAI, ChatGPT came out first thing, I was addicted to this. I'm still addicted, but obviously I'm more disciplined now to just drive results. But you just get addicted to prompt, and then eventually you just figure out a way. Okay, I can get to an answer really quick, or I can consolidate all these prompts to a playbook and then recreate an agent to have me do or activate this workflow like immediately. I've like after I make this video, I've got an AI agent that I trauma dump the entire experience into, and it creates all the descriptions, all the title, and even the thumbnail. I don't, no one's doing this thumbnail stuff. It's all AI. So to see Meta now grading their AI or grading their employees on their AI capabilities, like it's going to happen more and more. And I can tell you right now, no one is stepping into our discovery room for an interview, for a job, for money, for contracting, nothing, unless I know that they're master prompters.
At Meta, if you want to continue to be a metician, if that is what you refer to yourself as, well, you better dust off the old clods and start getting after it, buddy. All right, the social media giant is
This guy's
making
going to
AI
annoy me.
driven
I can already
impact
tell.
a core expectation from 2026. Janelle Gale, Meta's head of people, told employees Thursday in an internal memo, which was seen by Business Insider. Meta will assess employees on how they use AI to deliver results and build tools that could move the needle in a major way when it comes to productivity. Now, I'm getting ready to crash out, but I'm not going to do that yet. Okay. I first want to attempt to do a bit of steel manning of this entire thing. Okay. So, to be completely fair, one, I think LLMs are pretty great for some internal tools that you just want to get up and running, because I can tell you right now that as someone who worked at a large company, there is a lot of shitty internal tools that get absolutely no love. So if we can at least get something to the point of just like a dumping ground where you can be like, hey, anybody can open up Cursor and just prompt your way and try to get any bug fix and just make this internal tool work. Like, I can actually see a lot of people wanting to do that and be a part of that. And honestly, not a big deal. It's an internal tool. Nobody cares about the quality. It's not, we don't care about the uptime. We just want it up there. We just want it to work. We want it to display some results. The end. Or else you have to task and engineer weeks to possibly months of effort that just on a product that just, it doesn't need to be that good. At least that is my best ability to steel man this argument. And if that's the kind of case they're going for, is like, hey, let's use it to try to make operationally things a little bit smoother, like internally on the things we don't want to put in front of our customers and we don't really care, then yeah. But I said I was going to crash out a little bit and I was going to get a little bit upset. And I can kind of feel that storm building up inside of me. Okay. Here's the problem with all of that. When you start measuring a metric, people will optimize it, people will game it. This has been done since time immemorial. Anybody who's worked.
So I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. This guy nearly has 1 million subscribers. God damn. I mean, he's not really doing so much. I mean, I don't want to hate on the prime time. You got 1 million subscribers, bro. You're a beast on YouTube. I'm going to literally link your video in the description. But then I think to myself, maybe I can get 1 million subscribers because what he's saying isn't that serious, guys. It for whatever reason, you know, he thinks that gaming the ability to be graded on your prompting ability is bad. If you can game the prompts and game the AI, schedule a discovery call with our team right now. We will see what you got because we like that shit. We like the gamers. I was even, you know, it's funny. I was talking to my mother. She said, "Oh, Alex, you need to get people to help you. You can't do all this work alone." I really like to work like by myself. I don't want no help. Like the guys who I work with now, they fight to stick around. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I give them ratings for that. But you know, for me, like I told her, I'm like, I don't want anyone coming in here unless they're literally a gamer and they can game the shit out of these AI terminals. Like I used to play a lot of games, card games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, when I was younger, maybe like 14, 15. I was really good. And I actually paid for a year of university with these scholarships that I won from some of this stuff, just to toot my own horn. Doot, doot. But you know, I remember the sequencing and triggers that a lot of these games employ for, you know, how they operate and the strategies that you'd have to adopt in order to win. And a lot of that translates very, very well to AI automation prompting stuff. If you play Magic the Gathering, Like I'm gonna look at the screen. If you play Magic the Gathering, you're gonna be really good at AI. Like I tell you straight right now. Like you probably have the mind for that stuff. But we need gamers. We need gamers to just drop the sticks for a couple seconds and sit down in some AI terminals because they're wicked at it. They're really, really good. If you're a gamer, you know exactly what's going on um, with a bunch of different moving parts. You got to think quickly, move quickly. I always tell these guys that I'm working with, move with speed and brutality. Go now, do it now, results now. And gamers, I think, are used to that type of hyper productive environment, especially if you're like playing games where you got to grind and stuff like that. Hell, you would be great for AI. So I don't mind people gaming the rating system for however Meta's judging them and their AI skills. It literally will show that they have superior skills if they're able to do so.
Worked at a larger company that knows about this, they absolutely have 100% seen this. Like, this is the reason why lines of code cannot be used as a measurement if an employee is good or not. You know why? Oh, baby, I'm committing that package lock file daily. Okay, I'm going to have lines of code change in the billions by the end of the year. And that's like just why it doesn't matter. Like, we've all recognized this. And so if you do the exact same thing, like, oh, how much of your code is written by AI? We need to make sure that you're actually doing this. We need to actually make sure that you are committing lots of code and using an AI to generate it and becoming good at the tools. It's just like that doesn't make it good. Nothing about that. It neither makes it good nor bad. You can have two people both using the same AI, making the same prompts. One can provide you really crappy code and one can provide you really good code. I hate to say this. It's not the length of the context, it's how you use it. And so when I see this, you can just tell I'm upset about it because here's what I think is a much better measurement. Hey, Facebook, or sorry, Meta, sorry, Meticians. Let me just propose an alternative system. Okay. I think this system is significantly better. Are you ready for this one, Meticians? What if you find all the people that are good performers that you like working with? They tend to spot the real problems and write really good solutions, and they do it in a manner that is satisfactory to you. Why don't you keep paying them and make sure that they're happy? I know. Crazy idea. Does it matter that one person used an AI and another person did it? No, it shouldn't matter. If it's transparent to you, then it does not matter. What happened if the
I'm
person
not sure what this guy's trying to get at. Like to not use AI. Maybe I don't like this guy. I don't know. The prime time. I'll keep an eye out. Maybe I'll subscribe to him and see what else he's got going. But we'll see. Give him a chance. I always like to give content creators a chance. Like hell, this shit's hard, guys. So I see people up here putting content. They got 1 million followers. Like you must be doing something right. Hell, if I know, I think we got 200 followers or some shit. But I really don't agree with him when he says, you know, you should just pick the best people and make sure they're happy. No, you're not. We don't live in a world where employees or employers are making employees happy. We are beelining to the most efficient operations possible, and then seeing who's left once all of the chips have fallen. That's the bottom line. So I encourage everyone you're watching this, pick up AI and go to chatgpt.com and say, how can I engineer prompts better? How can I be better at talking to you? You will get better. You put in an hour a day on ChatGPT for a year, you will get a job as a prompt engineer at the company somewhere. I 100% believe that. But for someone like him to be trying to go to Meta and say, hey, you got to take care of your good people, it's like, well, if they're really that good and they're good at problem solving, finding issues, they would leverage AI to do it faster and do it more. That's the bottom line. The companies are just asking for more from hyper performers. And if you're not a hyper performer, you're literally just out. So I don't agree with what he's saying. I actually think what Meta is doing is just the next wave or the next filter on skill, the skill wall, skill gap. And so I agree with it. Like anyone who sits down with our team to see if they can work with us or anything, my first question is, how much AI are you using? What tools are you using? Like, do you know about this shit? That's it. That's the bottom line. Do you know about it? Do you have a background in technology? I don't even give a shit about resumes. That's where we're at now, guys. Where your resume doesn't matter. If you're good with AI, you're in. That's the bottom line.
person only used it a little bit. What happened if someone's really good at tab coding? What happened if someone built their own tool that's completely orthogonal? They're able to make really fast changes, but it just doesn't show up in the way you want it to. What happened if they're not prompt maxing, but they're still using LLMs to do really great time saving tasks in ways that are hard to measure? Like, who cares? Just have good employees and keep them. I know this is just one of those things that I know is just completely controversial. We're talking about liquid scalding hot lava take coming in right here. Good employees are good, and you should keep good employees instead of putting artificial constraints on them to be behaving in a way that you expect them to be better. Like, how? Well, what about that?
Better?
I know, scalding hot. Everybody, please.
Man, I see. I know why this guy gets views because he's animated. He's got his hands moving around. All this. Maybe later on in the day I'll have the energy for that. It's early, but you can't get mad at Meta for raising their bar of expectation for, and this is their top people. Like, their Meta doesn't employ dummies, so they're asking everyone at Meta, can you guys go harder? Can you? And I don't mind them doing that, because that's the same type of thing I ask my guys. Can you guys go harder? Are you gassed yet? Are you out? Are you running on fumes yet? If you're not running on fumes, you haven't gone far enough. Maybe I'm an asshole.
Please don't cancel me. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, I just had to say something because this is just like, it's just lines of code all over again. That's all it is. Hey, speaking of a million lines of code, I'm going to quit saying this once we get there. I will not be asking for subs once we make it there.
Okay, he's shilling his channel now, guys. If you want, you go follow Primetime. He seems like he's energetic, and I don't know anything about him. I just saw it's come up. I personally believe that prompting is going to be a universal skill across humanity, and likely the most important skill of, I think, are we in the 21st century? 21st century. I think we're still in the 21st century. So I personally believe this skill is going to be the most important for this century, because it's essentially, how do you give instructions to these super abled entities, AI, artificial intelligence? How do you leverage their power to make your world better, to make the world's better, the people around you? That's the bottom line, guys. Whenever I'm prompting and do, if you guys saw me prompt, like, ask the guys that I work with how I prompt. They're going to laugh in your face when you see how I prompt. I'm mean. Like, if anything happens, the AI is going to come back and come for me because of how brutal I am with them. But it gets to results quickly, guys. So one thing I'm going to leave you with, follow Primetime, give him a follow. Like, this guy's nearly a million, might as well get him there. If you like this type of conversation, hit like and subscribe. If you don't like AI, you think Meta's a bunch of losers for making their tech company use more AI, hit dislike, leave some colorful comments. But guys, if you are prompting right now and you are finding results, let us know in the comments what kind of experiences you've had with ChatGPT, how it's helped you, how it's maybe screwed you up. I'm really curious, because I agree with Meta that we should be gauging employees on their ability to prompt, because of just how important it is for everything, guys. And if you think that's shitty, then yeah, I guess dislike and leave a comment. Anyways, guys, I'll keep this one under 20 minutes. I'm getting better at the timing and stuff. I know I am. I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. Bye now.